No, wait, no. I was doing the intro. I was going to say Muscular Mystic. I recorded 2 videos for that channel. Nick with Mystic Manifesting, along with Gary, the all-star editor. And today we are going to celebrate the Christmas season. As you see, I've changed my backdrop. Gary, what do you got going over there?
Here, I've got my Christmas cigar. I've got my Christmas sherry, and I've got my ambient Christmas jazz music going on in the background whilst we're chatting away.
There we go. And I got my Christmas cigar, which is just the same from the box of Monte Cristos, but every live stream is a special occasion, which is kind of like what we're getting into. And Monte Cristos are what I do on my special occasions. Me and Gary both got the same cutter, but inversed, black and gold and gold and black.
Gold and black.
And we are going to. I should have actually got a drink too, but I don't think I got any pop for Coke. I will be doing the rose cut today, but it was a half-ass rose. And we're going to talk about the Christmas season and about why we're starting to celebrate it early. Like Gary says, he starts right now. And what time do you go till? January?
About probably January 20th.
Yeah,
probably 2 months. So, basically 2 months worth of celebrating. And just enjoying it. I don't call it. I just enjoy it. You just enjoy everything. You just 2 months of enjoyment. I can't. Just by the way, I'm not going to copy your rose. I'm just going to stick to the V cut because if I screw it up, then it's not going to be as enjoyable.
Yeah, I screwed it up too. And if you got a 60 gauge too, it's going to be a lot of smoke. So like it's supposed to be another like notch there. So it's going to be smoky. I might even have to crack that window more. Let me crack the window more.
Smoky Christmas.
But yeah. So today we're going to be talking about being in this Christmas season and this mood. And it's like for me, I would say my holiday season starts in the maybe middle September, early September, because that's when the Halloween shops open. And I know Halloween doesn't have to do with Christmas, but for me, my grandma's favorite movie was the Nightmare Before Christmas. So like you got Christmas and Halloween together right there, which was a brilliant marketing thing for a movie. But we'd be celebrating. We'd go to Halloween shops, like that's our tradition. So it's like you're excited for that. I always wanted to have a girlfriend to go to pumpkin patches with, but my first real girlfriend was Lily. So it was a symbol of like manifesting and getting back together. So Halloween time begins that. We get into November. The first few weeks in November for me have always felt like kind of blank, but Gary brought it up to me. He said, you know what, let's like start celebrating early. And I was like, that's a good point. And then you kind of put me more in the Christmas mood. And it was funny, you're listening to that Christmas ambience and I was doing it the same day too when you brought it up. So I think that's good thing.
Yeah, we do a lot of things at the same time on the same day.
We do, yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I did this. Yeah, I was weird. I was doing it as well.
We've become what do you call it? Like we're mirroring each other.
In sync.
Yeah.
Telepathically in sync.
You said in sync, and the song from I watched Deadpool the other day again, and that song popped out where he's like bye bye bye.
Oh really?
Yeah. I got that stuck in my head.
No, I'm putting the tree up after the live. I've got it all ready. So I do Christmas hampers. I like have a heat gun which I bought a few years ago, and I can shrink wrap everything. I get all the baskets, ribbon, and everything. I get shrink wrapping paper, and then basically every different person I custom buy, and then it all goes into like I got like 10 of them from online for like about £24, £24 we say. So I spent no more than about $30. Then it saves on wrapping every single present, but also you shrink wrap it and it looks really like store bought. Like I make it proper like store bought kind of style hampers. So they've all come today, and then I had a massive arm workout. It's been a productive day.
It's funny. Yeah. There's another thing for us right there mirroring is I have arm day too after this.
Yeah, it was hard. It's a good day, but it's hard day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was messaging you. I was like, I can't. I'm dying.
Yeah, it's like my arm days. It's like I don't know why those have always felt like it's a. Here's a manifesting story for that. It was something that always became. I used to always have really good arm days, and I remember working out with this one guy, and he would say, man, I never get a pump. And he was like a role model to me in the gym. He'd be like, I can never get a good pump no matter how hard I train my arms. And all of a sudden, my ability to get a pump on arm day, no matter how hard I trained, went away. So it's taken a long time for me to be able to break through that. I was thinking of that story the other day, yesterday, when I tried to hit arms, and it just wound up being complete ass. So my stuff got moved to today.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
up, bro? What's up, guys?
I'm experimenting at the moment with days on, days off. I can't work out solidly. It's too much after a while for like 6 days, 5, 6 days without a rest. So what I'm doing at the moment is 2 on, 1 off. Two
Yeah,
on, 1 off. So I do one strength day, one martial art day, day off. One strength day, one martial art day, day off. And it works nicely. But every now and then, like with flying and everything, sometimes it might be an extra day off. But sometimes, a lot of the time, I find out working out less gives my body time to recover, and I actually get better gains from it. So so yeah,
yeah,
you kind of I've worked out you work out a hack, and it works quite nicely. And I think people put again. I think that's kind of being going to be the kind of thing about this live. It's like putting pressure on everything. People, when it comes to working out, people put a lot of pressure on it, and after a while, you work out a knack for it. Food, like I eat what I want. Like as long as I'm getting the
yeah,
right macros in, and I'm not like in a massive calorie over like surplus, I'll eat McDonald's. I'll eat KFC. I love
yeah.
it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I send you gym pictures all the time. So
Yeah, you send me, you're shredded as fuck, and it's like for me, it's like I'm going in, I'll go into the gym, and it's like I'm doing my workouts, and it's like when I'm really hitting it, it's like I'm hitting 20, 30 minutes of cardio in the beginning and 20, 30 at the end, and doing my entire workout and hitting abs. I'll go eat bad meals, I'll eat a whole bunch of food, and I'll still maintain a slimmer look and a leaner look, versus when like if I cut out the cardio, it's like that I'm not burning enough calories, so then right away you go right back to it. And then there's another like negative on that stuff too. It'd be like when you start thinking, this is like almost. I feel like this is something because I've recorded a video on this. The body is also influenced on your thoughts at times too, where it's like, well, I never see myself as a lean guy. It's like I always got this back fat, like the back fat and big back is like the part that fucks me up on the lower back. So that was something that stuck through my head for the entire time I was training for that competition. I was like, that was the one thing I couldn't drop, and the fact that I wasn't going to have abs. So even though I did everything that would have got somebody abs and I ate the right way and everything, it still didn't come up. I'm like, man, that doesn't make sense. But it's like there were times where I looked better in my life eating whatever I wanted with a positive mental attitude, which was like that's how it affects it there. But obviously, the only thing you can't take away, which I talked about, and this is a video on the Muscular Mystic page, but it's like the only thing you can't take away from that is you still have to do some kind of work on that.
yeah, you definitely you have to have some level of consistency, but you need to. It's definitely about maintaining sustainability. I've done loads of different programs and loads of different kinds of, say the word diet. I don't like the word diet. Condition,
Yeah,
and it comes to a point where you just condition yourself to a
eating. Yeah,
lifestyle.
yeah. I was just say eating
Um,
lifestyles, just like the manifesting stuff. It's a lifestyle too. It's like everyone's like, oh, you're not. I feel like here's a bodybuilding relationship to it is people will be training for a show and it's like, oh, I'm getting ready, I'm training for the show. Then when the show's over, I myself was guilty of this too. You just kind of drop the fuck off what you were doing. It's like manifesting a specific person, manifesting a job or anything. You do all this stuff to condition yourself and get yourself ready, and then once you get yourself ready, and then you get what you want, you just kind of drop it, and it's like, what the fuck? You just dropped it. It's like it's a manifesting lifestyle, and what's it called? It's a manifesting lifestyle, just like it's a bodybuilding lifestyle.
yeah,
I see
yeah.
no
It's.
smoking. How dare you not? How dare you smoke?
Have you? I was gonna say, have you, Elizabeth? Have you seen this channel before? Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say I smoke
it's like,
every
have you
live.
been here before? That's
You
like,
too. I was gonna say yeah. I'm like every time you've been on the live too, you've smoked. So
I
John,
caned.
what's up, my
Yeah, I
brother?
mean,
Inked,
it's the
what's
whole
up?
point.
George,
It's the whole point, man. It's like,
yeah.
it's to relax, man. Joe
But it's
Rogan
like
does it. Like, Joe Rogan was listening. He just did just watched a short, and he said he doesn't do cigars all the time, but every show he has one, and he can't. I sent it to you, and he can't do more than one, otherwise you feel sick. I'm the same.
Yeah, same
Like,
as us.
I can't chain smoke and all that. I'm not into cigarettes. I'm not into all that. But shisha, I mean, that's the Middle East in me. Shisha,
Yeah.
every now and again, a nice evening thing. For me, that's my meditation. It's not just me sitting in a lotus position for about 3 hours trying to go on. It doesn't work like that. I need that. I need that kind of hour to me. And that's what I get out of a cigar every now and again.
Yeah, I take them as I'm using them as either two reasons. One, it's a meditation because sometimes it's hard to sit still. So you know that this cigar is going to last about 1 hour. So it's like I'm going to have to sit here, no phone, no nothing, and the only entertainment I have is picking this up, taking a puff of smoke, and puffing it out. Like that's all. The only thing I could do, and then all of that's my thoughts. I also use them for celebrations, like we said, and right now we're in the season of celebrating. So I use Monte Cristo, but every episode or live stream to me, that's a celebration. So we're celebrating on Mondays that hey, it's a new week. We're blessed with a new week and new things and new opportunities. So we're going to celebrate it that way. And I think that's a lot of guys too. I know there's women that smoke cigars, but it's like I mean, even at my lounge, like I've seen women down there smoking. But it's like a lot of the guys in the channel, they will light one up and smoke a cigar with me, like yourself included. Even if you're not guest hosting, you're watching the live and you're having yours usually as well. So we're all here celebrating a new week. And Adriel, what's up, brother?
Amen. I mean, certainly in the Middle East, a lot of women do shisha,
Yeah,
hookah.
Yeah, they had
So,
a couple of those bars by me, but I was like, that was the one thing I stayed away from those because I heard a story. I'm like, oh, if you have the what do you call it? The shisha, it's like the equivalent to one puff is like 100 cigarettes or something. So it scared me off. I'm like, oh, I can't do it.
yeah, but, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Yeah, so for me, it's
I
always
don't.
been
I don't
the
feel.
cigars.
I don't get. I don't feel I get like. I feel more lightheaded after a cigar than, and I do a shisha for 2 hours. A shisha lasts about 2 hours with the coal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you get an hour and a half, 2 hours. You change the coal halfway through. With my shisha, that's what I do, and that's what everyone generally does. And you get a good hour and a half, 2 hours. And I'm nowhere. I'm more. Purely because of it's the cigar itself, but I'm not. I don't believe that. I don't believe it's that harmful. I don't believe it that specifically harmful compared to say chain smoking 40 a day or
Yeah,
and if you're only doing it once a week or do you know what I mean, twice a month or
yeah,
even if you do it 3 times, it's not the same. You're not.
yeah,
It's like okay, so it's like saying right, McDonald's or KFC like bad for you. Okay, well, based on what? What are you based? Not. I'm saying in general.
yeah,
What are people basing it on when they're saying it's bad for you? So does that mean going into a supermarket, everything is good for you because it's in the supermarket?
exactly.
It's dependent on the frequency. It's dependent on like how much you're eating of it. So I don't think it's conducive to what people are specifically saying. It's all well and good saying healthy, unhealthy, but as I say, you've seen my gym pictures. You know that I love pizza. You know that I love Kentucky Fried Chicken, and you know me. So if there was something I was doing wrong, I wouldn't be getting the results I get. So do you know what I mean? I'm the same as everyone. So
Have to pay. We'll get defensive when people do that. We got to get defensive on it. So we'll go back into the season of celebrating, and that was the topic of today. We got a couple topics. Gary put out a nice list for us, and it was actually stuff that like we've both gone through very similar experiences this week, and I think that those if we're going through it, then that means almost everyone's probably going through it. Everyone's you pushed out. We're all in this together. You know all the good shit that I say. So yeah, we want to talk about like the season of Christmas time. Let's associate the feeling with it. Every season there is a feeling. So and they can be unique to you, but like this is the one season where we all, I believe at least, have similar feelings to it, which is Gary, what you said, it's abundance, right? That's the feeling you get, more of the abundance feeling.
Yeah, I mean, for someone, and I do get anxiety. I'll be honest, and I think the first thing is that you're conscious about it. But I think a lot of people have anxiety anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing is, being honest with yourself about it. And once you're conscious about it, you actually gives you a lot more control.
Yeah,
And I do think, like, so my manifestation. Sometimes it's journaling. Um, Sometimes it's affirmations robotically, but it tires me out now. Now it's
yeah,
just being in the knowing. Just be still and know that you are
yeah,
him or her. You are, I am. And
yeah,
the whole point is, the whole point of manifestation really is being good within yourself with or without the desire. That's
yes,
when the desire comes.
yeah,
And look at Christmas. We put so much emphasis on, a lot of this bows down to pressure. That's where anxiety comes from. It's the
yeah,
uncertainty, the unknown. If you knew
yeah.
everything, you're going to be anxious. The,
Lack of faith because of time crunch, and statistically this hasn't happened. I'm comparing it to that.
yeah. And most of my manifestation processes at the moment have nothing to do with SP. Not
Yeah,
that I like the word SP anymore, but
yeah,
it's a lot of it. For me, it's career and health.
yeah,
And coming up to Christmas, because of my work, my career, I get a lot of Christmases off, but I don't always, last year I worked from Boxing Day through New Year's. And over the course of the times when I've, in that kind of, in this kind of field, in other people's kind of field where you're working shift, um, you you start, I did Christmas. I tend to do like Christmas dinner on New Year's, New Year's, Christmas Eve or Boxing Day.
you put it off a little bit.
Yeah, we're going forward a bit. When I was in other previous relationships, I'd have one Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve, one Christmas dinner on Christmas Day, and one Christmas dinner on Boxing Day. Basically, I celebrate 2 months worth of it. It's like New Year's. Does anyone like? I'm sure everyone will agree in this. Like, you go to New Year's, it hits New Year's, and it's so anticlimactic. And you're like, oh, okay, because it's
Yeah,
just like that one moment in time that everyone's building up for,
yeah,
and then it goes, and it's like, oh, another 365 days, and it's
and
like,
that's.
well, yeah, go on.
Oh no, I was just say that's a great manifesting example right there. Before I lost it, you said all this build up leading to New Year's, right? So it's like everyone's building up, waiting for it, waiting for it. So they're anticipating. It's like, oh, I got to get ready. I'm gonna get this nice suit, this nice dress. We're gonna go ball drop, and then five, four, three, two, one, boom, it happens. You kiss, whatever's gonna happen on New Year's, and then or you get blackout drunk, and then it's over. All that
Yeah,
build up for nothing. Which when we were talking about the manifesting lifestyle, it's like being in that expecting state all the time. It's like, what happens when you wake up the next day, January 1st? I'm still excited. What's tomorrow? What's the second going to bring? And every day is exciting. That's the point that we're trying to get to you guys, where it's like if every season has a mood and a feeling, Christmas being abundance, Thanksgiving being gratitude, New Year's being excitement, those three things were things that we're always trying to get with manifesting. So it's like that's why every morning you wake up, you hit the gratitude. When you give yourself credit for your abundance, that's like Christmas. You get then a gift shows up or something random, even if it's a little thing. Wow, that's like a Christmas gift. And then what's it called? Some exciting thing. Hey, you get invited to this party this weekend that you weren't expecting. There's your New Year's, and it's like an every day you could be in that mood. Just like Neville brought up the example once. He goes, "It's now June or July, but you get the feeling of Christmas. You're picturing yourself walking down whatever avenue in New York that it was that he said. You look at the Macy's decorations in the windows. He goes, when you're sitting there thinking about it, you might feel cold, you might see it, but you get that feeling of Christmas. So if you could feel Christmas in June, why can't we feel the excitement and what Christmas replicates every other day?
yeah, exactly. And like, from doing things like Christmas Eve and Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve, number one, it's so good to like. Is honestly, just try it once. Christmas dinner on Christmas Eve. If you've not done it, just try it.
Yeah,
Like, if you run out of okay, firstly, if you run out of ingredients or you've missed something, you can go to the shop and get them. There's no
Mhm.
rush. And then you do your Christmas dinner. I mean, look, I mean, I generally do the Christmas dinner for my mum, and you spend all day even if you prepare. I prepare the night before. I still spend all day doing it. Like you still,
Yeah.
trying to make everything great, and then the day's gone, and you spend most of the time in the kitchen.
Yeah. Prepping for
Whereas,
it.
yeah, it's like you and if you've done it on Christmas Eve, I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying if you've done it on Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
you do it, enjoy it, then just do what you want on Christmas Day. Enjoy it, like have Christmas pancakes.
Yeah.
I did Christmas pancakes on Christmas Day, and there's too much of a good thing. Once
Yeah.
I did Christmas pancakes on Christmas Day, and I was too full to eat enjoy Christmas dinner like later on. And it
Yeah.
was just like, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was like have Christmas pancakes one day and then Christmas dinner. Then do you know what I mean? Enjoy every day, have something different, and you're enjoying everything that is. And it's the same with manifesting. It's the same with manifesting. It's like um, you're making the most of everything. Like I'm going out with
Girlfriend.
I'm going out with my
Yeah.
girlfriend
There
on
you
Wednesday. I'm
go.
going out with my girlfriend on Wednesday. We're going out into London. I'm killing two birds with one stone because I've got to get my visa sorted for China because we go to China quite often now.
Yeah.
And we're going to make a whole day of it. We're going to a nice restaurant. We're going to do a bit of Christmas shopping and just enjoy it. And today,
Yeah.
like I went to the Christmas market in town after the gym, looking around. I'll go and like I say, I got my hamper stuff. Every day is something different, but it's all conducive to the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's the same thing with manifesting. It's like you don't have to. Okay, so let's use working out. Let's like health. Like, I mean, I intermittent fast every day. I intermittent fast. I do intermittent. For me, it's easy. Like I'm used to it.
Yeah.
Um, but but I don't need to. I'll have days where I put my foot on the gas with working out, and I'll have days when I pull back. Um, but I know how to get the results. I know how to
Yes.
get a good result out of my body. And that's like it's the same thing with manifesting. Sometimes you do have to. Sometimes you will be maybe robotic affirming a little bit
Yeah.
and
You're
going
on techniques that day.
balls to the wall, but you don't need to
Yeah.
do it every
Yeah.
day, and you shouldn't have to. I mean, do you know, Nick, how many times do I send you a picture of my TV guide? Oh,
Yeah.
look, got another one, another film. I'm so good at manifesting TVs and programs. It's
And the next one that you're gonna get is Indiana Jones.
yeah, the Mummy and the Mummy Returns was on last night, and the Mummy's
Was
on
it
now. By
really?
the way, yeah, yeah, Mummy's on now. Uh,
Yeah. It's like
I thought like the whole Hangovers 1, 2, and 3 were on the other night. I thought about that the night
around the
before.
time of Mike Tyson's fight.
Did you see that? Have you
I
seen
did.
it?
Yeah. I was disappointed. I think he threw the fight.
Really?
Yeah. I think he threw it.
I didn't
Because
watch it, but
the first round he came out and he fucking popped him a few times and he's stumbling and Jake Paul stumbling and going back and then after that Jake Paul like locks up with him and then after like two or three times and then Mike still keeps trying to hit him and then like the second and third round Mike keeps biting his glove. He's like and then every time he has a shot to hit him he stops and resets and just lets Paul keep throwing shots on him and he keeps biting
really,
his glove like he's upset. So I'm like damn, he's throwing the fight, and it was like really disappointing to watch.
yeah, that reminds me of when I was in uh, where did I go? Vegas to watch. It was the first time I went to Vegas, and I saw Manny Pacquiao versus Shane Mosley. And Manny Pacquiao's a good fighter. Like they're both good fighters, but
Yeah,
everyone was just like yelling, "Stop kissing each other," because I
yeah,
think they're friends. I think they're friends.
yeah.
Like I heard that they were friends, and like this was like a decade ago.
Yeah. He
Um,
doesn't say Pacquiao hasn't fought in a minute.
yeah, um, we're a lot of people were pretty sure that they didn't want to go too hard on each other because they're
Yeah.
friends. I don't know
Which
how
at the
true that
same
is,
time,
but
yeah, like that's like Paul and Tyson. They've done podcasts together, like they're friends and they hang out. So it's like, and Mike said and goes, "Oh, he's a nice guy. He's my friend, and like I don't want to hurt him too bad, but I'm gonna break his face." And it's like, and you saw him come out like he was Iron Mike going all the way up to it, and then he's like, "Stop." So I was like, that's what was letting me down. And then right before the thing, some little kid asked him about his legacy. He goes, "Legacy is just a word that people throw around. It doesn't mean anything. At the end, we're just dead, and that's it." And I was like, "Damn, that was a little like 9-year-old girl asking him that question, and he answers it
do you
like
know?
that." And the
Do
kid's
you know
like,
you sounded? Did you ever watch the Simpsons episode when they did Dredrick Tatum? Obviously, it's
"Which one?"
Dredrick Tatum. It was like one of the old ones. Dredrick Tatum.
Oh,
You
that's
didn't
like
watch that?
the character that's like the Mike Tyson knockoff, right?
When Homer was doing boxing under management of he's the bartender Mo, and
Oh
Mo
yeah,
was and like Mo's old trainer says, "Oh look, I want my fighter Dredrick Tatum to fight," and like all Homer
yeah,
did was stand there and take punches, but he
yeah.
couldn't do that with Dredrick Tatum. But it's the way he spoke. You sounded exactly like Dredrick Tatum.
Yeah.
It's like, I got nothing against him, but I'm going to make orphans out of his children. And you go, and then one of the reporters, goes, "You know they have a mother," and he goes, "Yes, but I feel she would die of grief." It's like,
I was just saying before we continue, I'm gonna jump to the comments and just answer one question from from Austin. Austin, I've never read anything by Abraham and Esther Hicks. I don't. I've heard heard her a few times. I didn't even know she was a channel. I've never really resonated with any of that stuff, or any of her books or anything like that. And then Adro says his family's part German and they always celebrate on Christmas Eve as well. I thought that was just a Southside Italian thing because all the Italian families that I knew growing up, and I think a lot of the Mexican families too, everybody would celebrate on Christmas Eve. And then you told me you do it on Christmas Eve. I'm like, oh, I guess a lot of the world does maybe Christmas Day, but it's like I do think it's better to do on Christmas Eve because then it's 2 days. I always like that because it's 2 days of Christmas. It's like you're celebrating and you're getting
really?
gifts. We had Santa come to the house for Christmas dinner on New Year's Eve, and we could never tell. It was like an uncle that's like he's there, but you never really assumed it. He had this deep booming voice, but he would just sit there having his coffee and stuff, and you wouldn't even notice him disappear. Then Santa shows up, and it's like, holy shit, where'd this come from? And you don't pay attention to who's like. So Santa comes and delivers your gifts. He said he has so many gifts for you. Basically, all the gifts we were getting then, I learned when I was older. Those were all the gifts from your extended family that Santa's delivering, and then your gifts from Santa are the ones you get on Christmas Day. Like so that
Yeah.
into the night. So I'm like, damn, all the parents didn't really sleep. They would do that. We'd be there till 1, 2 in the morning, and then we'd have and they that would do that so the kids are completely knocked out, and the parents would stay up and then put out the gifts there.
Yeah. No, it's not. Well, you say it's 2 days. It's 3 days. You've got Boxing Day, but equally, oh yeah,
Yeah.
America's a bit different. So Boxing Day is the 26th. So we call it. It's a national holiday here. It's Boxing Day. It's the day
Yeah, it's on
after.
our calendars, but I never knew what it was.
I don't know what it is, but it's just another day after Christmas Day. But for me, it's the whole week, right up and no. Do you know what? Not even right beyond Christmas, New Year's Day. New Year's Day, have another turn. Do you know what? I love a goose. I love a goose at Christmas.
I've
What
never
you
had
do?
that before.
Sorry.
I've never had before.
So I'm a bit of culinary my side. I do I love to cook, particularly Asian food. And what I do, not every year, but some years, I'll do a goose. Um, open like I've got a standard oven, but you open air. You know, it's not on a. It's on just on a rack open. You know, you stab it just before you cover it in Chinese 5 spice, put it in the oven, tray underneath, and then all the fat just drips right through, and you keep basting it. And when it comes
Oh
out,
wow.
it just you slice it, it falls off. And when what's left, save it for New Year's. And on New Year's, put it back in the oven, Chinese 5 spice, some vegetable oil. Then you've got crispy duck pancakes or crispy goose pancakes.
That sounds interesting. That's a lot of work though for me. I have a culinary of ramen noodles and my meal preps for 2 minutes in the microwave. There's some things I do like to make. I mean, I made skillets the other day. I worked out this agreement. I was gonna say SP again, but we'll get into that story in a little bit. My specific person, my girlfriend Lily. When we will do stuff, it's on weekends. We worked out this arrangement. One weekend I'll cook, the next weekend she'll cook, and I've lost track of it now at this point because there were a couple weekends where I think last weekend was my turn, but I was sick, and then this past weekend there was like we only saw each other Sunday. So, um, but oh, and speaking of that, we only saw each other Sunday because like she was. We'll go through that story too. But we had a round table in the Discord, and I know not everyone was able to make it, but if you guys are able to, the round table in the Discord, if you want to sign up, is something I'm trying to do at least once a week. But it's a chance where everybody can pop in, just like how me and Gary are sitting right here, and like take turns speaking about what's going on, and we'll sit there for a couple hours. So that's something I want to do to give that exclusive content for the Discord. But I know a few of you guys here in the chat were
Discord.
already Discord. See that I'm remembering to plug it. But
yeah, I think we're trying to get Discord, really get people onto it and push, use it now. I think it's good to have.
Yeah, there's a lot more activity in it now, I've noticed.
Yeah. So if you haven't, get a subscription to it. It's 2 cups of coffee a month.
Yeah.
You got Nick.
One, or it's one, what do you call it? One Dunkin' coffee.
One Dunkin' coffee.
Dunkin' coffee, I think, the large iced coffee.
Yeah. You got Inked. I'm in there.
Mitzi, Josh, Austin.
So
I'm trying to see whoever's in the chat that's there, but we got a good amount of people in there. So if you guys want to do that, that's there. And then I came up with this too. It's like I'm trying to put like a little exclusive stuff for there, which is that. And then if you remember on the YouTube channel, which I want to thank Courtney, she's been the longtime member of the YouTube channel for the exclusive content and stuff. I'm gonna start making extra videos, but they'll be a little bit more spirituality based, like stories about. We talked about this in the Discord about the time I talked to a medium and had the contact with Neville. That's an interesting story. So we'll talk about that on the exclusive if you get the channel subscription. So trying to plug everything that I've already set up.
I try to be the Mace Windu of manifestation, conscious creation, where my brain, I try and mix. I do still think to this day there's a bridge between science and spirituality, and I think quantum physicists are coming to that. But there's a right side to me, a right side of my brain, very creative. I mean, and then obviously the left logical, where I can, a lot of me is, I'm on the stock market. I'm it's logic part, and it's like, I don't know. I try and balance the two quite as best as I can. And so I say that was like the whole Mace Windu, because Mace Windu, his lightsaber, the idea was that it was purple, in that he was able to balance the dark side with the light side.
And that's why he lasted so long against Emperor Palpatine in their fight.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? I think that can almost segue us into the next topic too, where we were talking about changing states too. So just like the Mace Windu thing, and like holidays changing states. Like we go from Halloween time, then you got like that 2-week buffer, which would be like you slowly changing your thought. Then you're in the Thanksgiving mindset. Then you're changing it again towards the middle of December during the Christmas, and then it's like a really quick flip to New Year's. But like how your mind changes with different seasons, that's like changing your states. For instance, me and you talked about this many times. When we're going to the gym, it's I'm blasting Deftones, rock music, metal music, with the background of like Tom Platz, Mike Menser, all these like old school bodybuilders, Ronnie Coleman screaming in my ear, and just all like the most like violent stuff going through your head. And like, and you're digging into the metaphorical cookie jar, as David Goggins calls it, and you're just going through and like this rage while you're in there. Problem is turning it off. Like you got to learn to be like, okay, I'm in this state, I could get out of it. So just like you could naturally drift into a negative state, recognizing it, jumping out of it. And it's like this morning you said, well, you were listening to Christmas music, then you went to the gym. Now you're here in celebration mode. And then if you're going to go by your girlfriend later, it could be another switch to the romantic version.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was like I woke up. I'm always listening to generally binaural beats, so to sleep and all that. But and then when I wake up, I've still got that going in the background. Um, and then I put on the Christmas music, and I'm just in this Christmas mode. And I know at some point, in order to really push me to get what I need to be doing, with the gym, I then go into like Hans Zimmer or who like Dark Knight,
Yeah.
or Mortal Kombat or like
Yeah.
or Mad Max Fury Road,
Yeah.
some really heavy stuff, and then I meditate into the workout, but I also meditate out of the workout. It's
Yeah.
and then that sort of brings me back to this realm mentally. I know that because I run the risk sometimes, and I have done it, where my brain just doesn't come out of gym mode, and I'm listening to like Bane all the time, and then I can
Yeah.
see it. I can see the projection in reality. I can see people feel
Yeah.
like this, like like this crazed lunatic kind of scary. I'm not. I'm quite a fun guy, but when I'm in
Yeah.
the gym, I'm a monster.
Yeah. And
And
your world is reflecting it to you. People are treating
yeah,
you like, oh, this is the villain, this is the scary guy. It's like maybe your girlfriend's kind of like there's like a standoffish thing, but it's like which is kind of like what I went through this week, where it's like she was going through something like hustle mindset mode on what was it this past week was when I came back from being sick. So like me and her, like I was sick and then she got sick and then she took care of me, I took care of and I was just like, I'm like, I'm in my own zone. And then I started remembering like bad stuff that happened. So I'm like, you know what? This is like negative stuff in the relationship that's been like long dead. If you're not like, I went from working out to like trying to get myself back on, and I'm in this grind mode where it's like in that grind mode, it's like everything takes a backseat to your goal. And
yeah,
it's like me and you were working on a project, and it's like, okay, well, and my brain's ready to break out of it, but it's like allowing yourself to just stay in now. You know what? It just stays in the negative, and the next day you carry it over, assuming she's mad, and then so then she does get mad, and then it was like this week she was mad at me and I was mad at her, but neither one. And then we talked about it this weekend. She goes, "I really wanted you to be with me through all this stuff," and I assumed she didn't, and I was thinking so it was this whole thing. It was a relationship fight over nothing. So this is the thing. It's like you think you manifest your specific person, and it's like, oh well, now things will be always perfect. Your thoughts are always happening. That's why it's manifest.
yeah,
Your thoughts are just remembering, watch your thoughts and your states because people are always going to mirror it and reflect it. Doesn't mean that the relationship's going to fall apart or going to break up, but you can cause this unnecessary strain on it, just like I had done with my own thoughts and assumptions.
yeah. I had the same thing. Um,
Which is funny, we mirrored each other like that too. And we were together when my stuff was kicking off. We were together on a call.
we mirror. We don't realize it's happened until one of us says, "Oh, I had this," and I'm like, "Oh, I had that as well." But we
Yeah,
do mirror. Um, with my girlfriend last week, and I mean, she's got two children, and basically, it's a lot of work. It is hard. Kudos to single parents, um, and you can see on the other side, when you're spending time with them, you can see that they're burnt out, especially when you're dealing with two, three, and I left last Sunday, for example, and I try and I sort of I've definitely Nick, me and you, we've known each other for a year and a half now,
yeah,
and my sort of journey through things, and the person I am today is not the person I was a year and a half,
completely different. Yeah,
and so my reaction to things isn't the same. A lot of the time, remember what I sent you yesterday? I was watching. I don't know if anyone knows Red Dwarf, and there's this episode where, like, it's a British. series, very old 90s, but they started doing new ones like not so long ago. Not as good and funny as what they were in the 90s, but basically, there was this scene where Lister, one of the characters, basically ends up in this DNA altering kind of machine, and then another character, Cat, is like pressing buttons. She's like pressing buttons, and like Lister can't move. He's like, do nothing, get Crichton. Like the other, like there's a third character and the fourth character, and like Crichton's the android in it, and because he's like really intelligent, he knows what to do. And Cat's just pressing all these buttons, and it's getting more and more, and it changes Lister into a chicken to start off with. Basically, it changes his DNA. And if he'd just done nothing, like, do you know what I mean? So, like I said, this is the best clip. I said, you got to do this. Like, say nothing, do nothing. He said, well, I don't obviously get Crichton, because who's Crichton in like your world? But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go within. It's the same thing as saying, do nothing, press nothing, go within. Do nothing. Like, and that's really, you know, I think there's a lot to be said about that. And so I'm much better now at giving space and, you know, to the other half, and you know, I don't need to text. You know, I feel quite. I think there's a level of security that you tend to, when you get into this and you learn how to control your reactions to things, you do get more secure in yourself. And
which
but
was like
I kind of left her to it, and I was like, you know, why isn't, like, she's not texting me, like, and she gets proper with everything that she's doing. She does get proper busy, and then like a day goes by, a day and a half, then I get a message from her saying, hey, you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And we're talking for about 10 minutes, and then the conversation just stops dead at 2 PM. And then nothing gets said like after that. And then another day goes by, we don't really talk, and then another day, and then it gets to like Friday, and I'm like, should I text her? Shouldn't? And then I'm in this, no, look, manifestation, da 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 da, like she'll text me, da da. And I just went, do you want to see me? And she went, yeah, I do. Do you want to see me? And I went, well, yeah, I've missed you a week. Like, I was like, and it's like, and then when we spoke about it face to face, she was like, I'm just like, I really do get distracted. It's got nothing, like, it's nothing weird or anything like that. Just I get distracted. I was like, yeah. I said, so basically, but she said, yeah, but I thought you were off with me. And I said, I thought you were off with me. She goes, no. I said, I wasn't off with you. And so basically, I said, so basically, I wanted to text you, but I didn't, because I thought you were off with me. You wanted to text me, but you didn't because you thought I was off with you. So I said, we just basically wanted the same thing. It was like, yeah. I was like, oh, cool.
There's the same thing happened to me. You wanted to be with that person, they wanted to be with you, but it's this whole thing of like, I think we're conditioned because of the specific person journey or whatever it is, where it's like, yes, that was important for us at the time. Oh, don't reach out, don't do this, because in certain situations you're blocked or whatever, and you can't do it. Now, granted, your specific person thing came from organic stuff, but before you had to deal with that situation where it's like you can't, there's nothing you can do at that specific moment, right? And when you can't do anything in the moment, okay, Aurelius, when you can't control the outside, go within. But if you can, it was like following your intuition. Like my heart was telling me the whole time. When me and you were on that call, I'm like, I should be over there by her. And then she kept telling. And then when we saw each other in person, she goes, I really wanted you here with me. But I felt, oh, how can I? I'm like, how can I be in? I'm like, how could I help her with the situation? So because of my lack of self concept, thinking, oh, she's she what's it called? She won't be able to benefit from me being around or whatever. That was a negative self belief on my part. So it's like you always have to watch your thoughts, no matter how well you are the master manifester. Negative thoughts can always creep in and stuff. So you got to watch that stuff, because then it can create something. It will create something out of nothing, I guess. And it's funny right now too. I just got a message from her as we were talking. I saw it come up. I told her that we were doing a Christmas theme. She goes, "Christmas theme, isn't it a bit early?" And I'm like, I'm gonna have to explain this to her, or she should just join in here. She's on TikTok right now. I see her sending the messages.
These matches suck, and I've run out.
I just saw that. I was like, the face you made. I'm like, I'm done
there. Yeah. Before I just go and grab it, I just finish off on that.
Yeah.
We put too much. I think we put too much pressure again. Like I said, I think this is going to be a pressure, anxiety kind of Christmas live roundtable.
Yeah.
I think we put too much pressure on everything. And okay, yeah, if you're in no contact, or in the 3D realm, if you want to call it, you're not, you're accepting what's going on. You're not there relationship wise. Don't go and try and get results. Don't try and go and hunt people down, like in the sense that try and go, oh, I was taking action, because you won't know whether it's action that you needed to take until after. And you'll go, oh, that's why. It's not like, oh, I'm going to plan this and do that. But if you're with someone and everything's cool, don't make life hard for yourself. Like, just that you don't need if you want to just freaking message them, like, at the end of the day,
it's almost like your
whatever.
intuition and your gut is always going to tell you what to do, and it's
Yeah.
like you should listen to it, because as long as you're regulated, your intuition's right. And that kind of goes into like the stock market stuff we were talking about too.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to trading, for me, I have a rigid coaching plan. Well, a trading plan which I coach as well.
Hold on, plug it. If you guys are interested in coaching,
Flight plan trading program.
Yes.
Where there's zero risk, because it's designed the same way pilots fly. And as you don't know, that's what I do for a living. That's my main role. But the way, so I've been trading for, what am I now? I'm 37. So it's been 17 years. And I've made a lot, and I've lost a lot, and I ain't gonna lie. And I've taught it was all self-taught. And through all of my ups and downs, I came to a very, very solid skill and strategy, which works very nicely. I do it, makes money. It works nicely. It's not a system, it is a skill. And that's what you need to understand about trading. It's a skill.
Yeah.
Same with flying, it's a skill. And every pilot, not all, pilots they don't all fly exactly the same way. That's where psychology, what we call airmanship, you've got your regulations, you've got your procedures, and there's a gray area where it's like, well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Not everyone flies the same way. Every captains and pilots and first officers, they don't always have the same model. And the whole point is we bring that model together, and that's how we do the job. And that's the same way the flight plan trading program's been designed, in that there's 3 parts to it. There's 4 phases, but there's 3 parts. And you're not risking any money, because it's all done the same way we learn to fly. Yes, we do our basic training in real planes, but we do most of the airline training in simulators.
Yeah.
You will open up a simulated account way down the, you'll open up a simulated account with a simulated amount of money, and your job is to double that money. So there's no risk. Now it's up to you if you want to go and put £1,000 or whatever you want to do, $1,000 down and start trading. That's down to you. I don't take responsibility for that. But everything, the course is there, and I take you through basically navigation. It's basically direction management, or I call it navigation. Psychology, trade psychology. I call it trade airmanship. And money management, I call it fuel management. So when we're flying, we have a set fuel for different phases of the flight. Same way, different. When you're trading, you need to have different. You have a savings account, reserve accounts. You have money for reserve. Same, you have fuel on a plane. You have for reserve, and that reserve, or whatever money you've got, is used to determine how much you're going to trade with. And then you've always got money in reserve in the tank, and then you've got money that you trade with. So, and money is cross feeding, if you like, moving between accounts to trading account, back to bank account. So, and then you've got the final phase, which is basically you have to then raise money using all the phases that you've learned, and it's a simulated account. So that's the flight plan trading program. So yeah. Plug it. It's plugged. It's there.
Yeah, there you go.
Get
And
my
you plug
life.
it, and while you go to get that, I'll make a point on what he just said too. Well, I'll wait till he comes back. I'll make the point, and then I'm just gonna respond. Inked, I'm not on TikTok right now. I was just referencing. I saw a message from TikTok coming from Lily, and then you get your Pepe money coming in. I know my Doge is about to go through the roof, but my analogy I wanted to make with your flight plan training is just like how you have the correlation between being a pilot and you built up that system. It's like how I use the working out and bodybuilding and comedy and acting and film stuff as a metaphor for manifesting. Like you said, you build up a system. Well, when you break it down, what is the core underlying thing you want to teach people with your course? It's that they have the confidence to trade with real money if they want to. So they've built confidence through your course, just like the same way when you're coming to coaching with me, you're building your confidence in yourself. So it's like when you go and apply this stuff in the real world scenarios, you don't have a feeling of risk of loss or something because you've already took all your lumps and losses and stuff already in their training and stuff like that.
Yeah. And when it comes to trading, it's not about making a profit or making a loss. It's how you feel in the trade. When you know how you're going to feel in the trade, then you'll know how to trade, because that, like with manifesting, you got to gauge your emotions. And I'm not saying you would trade completely emotionless, because that's not possible.
Yeah,
Whatever any trade, I'm not putting myself to say that I'm like an absolute expert in trading, but I've
yeah,
been exposed to the markets. I've exposed myself. I've seen the goods, the bads, and everything that I do is quite rigid. So,
yeah,
that's like you, Nick. You give a realistic view on manifesting. I give a realistic view on trading and money.
yeah,
And when it comes to manifesting, I mean, I'd say I'm in a fairly good place at the moment. I mean, I'm working mostly on my career. Nick, you know about that.
yeah,
I don't talk too much. I mean, this is a personal thing. I was saying this to someone else a few days ago. I don't talk too much about my successes or failures. Undesires sometimes, because it can change, and it often does. Um, I don't talk either way. It's good to talk about successes every now and again. I try to keep any successes I talk about like small ones. So if like Nick, I'll text you and I'll be like, I can see progression in my
yeah.
weight training. But if there's a big one, I don't always. I try to keep it hush hush, because somewhere along the line, if something doesn't go, if there's a hiccup along the way after I've said, oh yeah, this happened, it's really, really good, then it might neg me a little bit and go, oh, do you know? And I just said it was, almost like
Yeah,
jinxed
yeah.
it. So I don't always, spout my
And
successes and whatnot. When it
I
comes
had
to
that same thing with coaching when it came down to coaching, which was my coaching got popular and my channel got popular off my success with my specific person or my now girlfriend. Like it got popular because of that. So when I would be taking on clients, you could sometimes be I'm telling a story, but then it's like maybe I'm thinking, am I going to jinx this? And it's like I watched the relationship fall apart within the first year of the channel. It's like things were good, 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 but then it falls apart in the most catastrophic way publicly and stuff, which was a fear I had for a long time. As you say, jinxed it. And the jinxing is just an assumption that it's going to fail because you spoke positively about it. That's why I never says take it and don't tell anyone. And it's difficult at times because you want to share your success and motivate other people. But another thing too, it's like people will tell me their success stories and stuff, and it's like sometimes they'll just write, and like we've had it happen like 5 times. They'll come into the live streams, hey, I got my specific person back, awesome, tell me, send me an email. They don't send me the story or whatever, which I get it. You're on cloud nine when you manifest a specific person, so you're not really worried about sending me the message or whatever. But it's nice just to let the people know. At the same time though, people will begin to compare themselves to the success stories. It's like take a bodybuilding example again. Oh, I want to look like this. I want my body to look like this. And I've trained really hard for 3 months. Okay, well, the guy you're comparing yourself to, he has trained for over 10 years. He has no day job. He does this full time. He's got access to whatever supplements, legal or illegal, that he needs. Like, don't compare yourself to him. And this is a Jordan Peterson line, but I think is very helpful. And it could go in manifesting in all areas of life. Don't compare yourself today to where somebody else is. Compare yourself to where you were yesterday. And so it's like compare, oh, yesterday I couldn't lift this amount of weight. Today I can. Yesterday I didn't look like this, but now I can. Yesterday I would have freaked the fuck out if SP left me on scene. Now I'm confident enough that like, oh, I understand. I could change the stories or whatever my thoughts create. So like that's the whole point of it, is like it's all incremental changes and stuff that you're doing for yourself, and to not compare yourself. I think that's the danger of success stories. We kind of talked about that earlier when we were just talking to each other, that telling too many success stories, or and I just released a video on this if you guys haven't watched it yet, but I released a video about having a manifesting partner. And I remember in the Discord, somebody brought up, oh, they wanted a manifesting partner. And he set some rigid parameters, like, we got to meet this many times a week and talk about this and this and this. And how I conclude the video is from someone who's had good manifesting partners and bad manifesting partners. Um, a very good manifesting partner I've had throughout all of this journey has been Inked. Inked has been there with me since day one. She showed up at the channel day one. Mitzi was there. And then, like a year and a half into it, or a year into it, or whatever, I meet Gary. So it's like very good people you can build feedback off of. And we're all based on the same thing. Well, Nick, you've had success here and you taught us this and we've succeeded here. Why aren't you doing that now? But you get so blinded in the moment with emotions, like talking about trading, and there's emotions in it. You get those emotions flowing, and now you're upset, and like you don't see what you need to do. And they're pointing out, no, listen, this is what you got to do, and calm down. The problem with the manifesting partner is you're blocked, they're blocked. They don't have an SP, you don't have an SP. So it goes from this whole thing of like, well, you know what, tomorrow, well, like you'll go on all day talking about it. I had this, and the girl I used this as an example I met on Reddit. Can't even remember her name at this point, but she was like, she's like, oh, and this was before I even met Lily. It was like manifesting this other girl that I didn't succeed at, because the girl changed her name. The first girl's name was Emily, so it was like she made her name Emily on my phone, so I changed it, and then she changed my name to S, whatever her SP's name was, and we go back and forth. And I'm texting like me, but like the ideal guy that she would want. She's starting to text like the ideal woman, and then she's bringing psychology into it. And then on top of that, somebody might think they're a better manifester, so they're trying to like put you down and be like, "Hey, listen, I'm doing it like this." So and then the thing is, okay, we'll talk more about this tomorrow. So everything becomes, we'll work on this more tomorrow. And you know what? I think we made a lot of progress this week. When I do coaching, it's like, we're going to do the one and done. Okay, I get it. Like if you want to come back for another coach, that's why there's monthly stuff. But like for this to go on for months and years, it's either a bad coach or a bad manifesting partner, or because you're not learning anything. Your reality becomes, I'm manifesting this specific person, I'm manifesting this job, I'm manifesting this. So my manifesting partner are working on this. Your state that you're embodied as someone who's working. Just like if me and you lived in the same area and we were training together, we go to the gym and it's like, okay, we hit chest today. Ready for leg day tomorrow? Oh, you got back day on Wednesday. We're planning out our entire week, because whether we're training for a show or not, this is a lifelong thing. You're consequently making this a lifetime endeavor to get the specific person. And by the own law of assumption, you will never have that person, because you can't. That's the rule, because you're chasing something that you're engaged in the activity of chasing to get something, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's also a lot to be said about just being silent, not talking about it. And I know, especially with anxiety, I know sometimes it's good to maybe just air it, but sometimes it really, most of the time, it really just is easier just to, because often I say nothing to anyone, and even if that means just putting my phone down and going away somewhere where I'm nowhere near my phone, or not, and don't like. I think this is now going into the fourth topic quite nicely. Social media, man, like, get off of Facebook. Sorry, Mark Zuckerberg, but you don't need it. Why do you need Facebook? Oh yeah, because you've got businesses. All right, do business. Like, what's your SP doing on your Facebook if you're doing business? I've been coached by billionaire business people, and I can tell you this: if you've got a business on Facebook, no romantic interest should be on Facebook. On that account. It's business. Keep it that way. Your Instagram. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Facebook. I have Messenger, but I don't have Facebook. I can't check profiles. I can't do that. And oh my, like, it feels amazing. Like, do you know how, especially if someone with, if if that's what I'm saying, if you know that you're someone who's prone to that kind of thing, like if you're anxious, you know the tools that are going to make it worse. So don't use those tools that make it worse.
Yeah.
And it seems at first glance it's like, oh my god, I haven't got, like, after about a week you won't care. Like, I don't watch the news at all.
Yeah. There's
Like,
no point to it.
there's no, honestly, it's a
If you don't control
pantomime.
your mind, someone else will, and that's what that is.
Correct. And you don't need it. Stop checking Facebook. Ain't gonna change. I ain't gonna change anything. It's just gonna make you feel worse. You know, it just doesn't mean anything. So there's a lot to be said about just say nothing, press nothing, do
Yeah.
nothing.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like what you're saying too about all this. Like you said, the business, and this is a quote from Rich Piana where he was like, "Oh, you're doing business online. That's the reason you have to be online, right? Do what you have to post, whatever videos you have to post, whatever promotions you have to post, whatever obligations like the live stream or whatever you have to fulfill, and get the fuck off." And I'm personally guilty of this too. It's like I'll go on Instagram to take a 1 minute clip, post it, but then while I'm waiting for it to render, scroll, scroll, scroll. Oh, Lily will like this. Race Car Randall will like that. Oh, let me try to send this link to somebody, and then you're sending all these videos, and now it's been an hour to post a 1 minute clip, and then you lose all that time, and you've been influenced by however many things you've scrolled through.
Exactly. Just be careful with that stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's all I'd say. It is not. Listen, social media is more anti-social than social.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget that. Like, it sounds like I'm saying it to Nick. I'm not saying. I'm saying it to everyone. Like,
Yeah.
social media is more anti-social than social. Does no
Yeah.
justice. There's just there's a lot to be said for leaving your phone at home and going out and just doing something where you're not in the vicinity of your phone. And I do think there's an energy there. I think when you walk, it's like you can have too much energy in one area, and it's almost like it gets clogged up. And you walk away, you're just giving that, you're just taking that away. And then I come back and I got all these messages on WhatsApp. Yes, I have WhatsApp, but these are communication with people that I have their contacts. It's not. I don't need to know what someone's done in the morning with, like, their mate, or like
Yeah.
what pancakes they've eaten. I don't care.
Yeah.
Why? You just don't need to be on it. I mean, okay, if you want to be on it, it's your call, but don't go on it and then spiral yourself and then come back to, like, Nick and spend an hour going, or go on Discord and spend an hour, like, writing, going, this happened and then they did that and I saw it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you,
And
like,
it's
what would
like,
happen if you just didn't check it?
yeah, it's like you saw a jar of poison and you're like, I wonder what that tastes like. And then you got sick, and then Dr. Nick comes in, like The Simpsons, Dr. Nick. Dr. Nick, hello everybody, and then I get you
Hey
all in
everybody.
good mood. I get you in a good mood, take you out of the spiral, and then you're like, oh, oh, piece of candy. It's another poison. It's like, oh, I wonder what this tastes like. Oh, wait, didn't you just do that last week? And it's like, and then you'll see, it's like, that's why I do relate sometimes when Neville, like, he goes, this man or no man. Oh, I don't know how many weddings I've been at where it's been this man or no man. Neville was fucking frustrated, just like I see some of these other coaches. Some of them have no business being, this is me talking shit again, but some of them have no business being angry. It's like, quit your fake anger. Like, you need to do this. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, you could calmly, again, repeat, now listen, here's what it is. Just like how you firmly, gently, but assertively said, don't come back with a negative story because you did something you weren't supposed to do. Yeah, we can't fuck this up. And you make a mistake, we could always redo it. Have redos in life. There's infinite redos. But unless you do something completely insane, so don't do that. But but it's just kind of like, just relax, and it's nothing's that important where you're gonna need to go back and fucking check Facebook or Instagram. It's like on Instagram, what's the point of Instagram? What am I scrolling through there? I went back and I unfollowed so many, unless I actually know them in real life. And if we haven't talked in a long time, I've unfollowed them. All the political accounts I followed, unfollowed, and stuff like that. And then what's the next thing I do? It's like, I go on Instagram, I look for some memes here and there, or like my brother will send me memes. I'll look at the memes he sends me. My friend sends me memes on there, and Lily goes on Instagram maybe once a week. So I'll send her some memes, and she'll send me memes, and then that's it. On Instagram, TikTok, I got 4 accounts. I'm spending all day on there. It's like, Did you make any comedy videos this week that needed to be posted? No, stay off the Flex account. Did you make any cool edits for Muscular Mystic, or do you have any knowledge to drop on that page? Well, you hardly post on there. Stay the fuck off there. Did you post any Mystic videos? Okay, drop the Mystic video and get the fuck off. And then the Nick and Lily one. Did you make any vlogs? No, get the fuck off there. YouTube. You're going to the gym listening to music on YouTube? Okay, that's your 2 hours. Now get the fuck off it. Or are you going to put on a podcast? The dangers of a podcast. I love listening to podcasts, but you're sitting there all day. You're now, oh, I have this opinion. Why? Joe Rogan had that opinion. Oh, I have this opinion. Tim Dillon had that opinion. These are all podcasts I like. But it's like I'm taking all these other people's opinions, or it's like even I love listening to Neville, but at the end of the day, granted, Neville's teaching and talking about all the same stuff we're doing. Are these Neville's thoughts or are they my thoughts? Is this my life or somebody else's? So taking control, like you're saying.
And when you're saying that, it's funny because when you start getting into this properly, and you know, I don't know about everyone else, but after a while, I find that I'm talking less and less. Like I just because you're the only person in your reality.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just playing a part. You don't need to. I'm not saying don't go and talk to people. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not talking to you.
Your boss is telling you what to do, and it's like you're not real. You're not
You
real.
know,
I'm gonna go fly the plane.
it's like in like an RPG, like a role playing game. Just walk around, and you know you have to go out to people and press X or A and get them to start to. I haven't pressed X. Haven't pressed
Yeah.
X. So you just walk around. Just like walk around people. Do you know what I mean? But I find the less necessity after a while when you start to see what I'm saying and realize that in your own world you talk less and you find yourself talking less and less, and you actually find yourself cutting a lot of negative people out. Not because you don't want them, you know, not because you don't like them, but because you're trying so much to conserve your energy. Talking, communication is one of the biggest exuders of energy, consumers of energy.
Yeah.
Like talking, like when we fly, like one person will fly the aircraft and the other person will talk to air traffic control. We call it pilot monitoring and monitor the systems. That's harder than flying the plane. Flying the plane's easy.
Yeah.
Talking on the radio is a pain in the neck because you just like it's a lot of energy going out. So if that's just do it, and that's I've got to do it. You've got to do that because you've got, you know, it's part of the job. But
Yeah.
you don't have to talk about everything that's, you know, like I appreciate, you know, it's appreciated that it might be getting you down, and this is where I'd say read the Kabbalion.
So that's what I'm working on right now too. Right now is the same one.
The polarity. What is it? You'll have peaks and you'll have troughs. Now, even if good things happen, just be like, yeah, it's cool, because then when something undesirable happens, your come down won't necessarily be as massive. You'll just be like, oh, okay, yeah. And then you just keep this balance. You go with the flow, and you just find yourself talking less. And I was going to say, it's a shout out to Nick because, and you know, it's because when you're doing coaching and you're listening to so many different people, and you know the things that other people go through, that does seep in. It seeps in because other people, you know, like we're all in the journey. You know, we've all got our own manifestation journeys. We're all working on ourselves. We're all working on something. And so when someone else comes in and they're like, da da da, this happened, da, 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 you know, it kudos to the coach because they are taking that all in, and that's one person. Now imagine what that's like if you've got like with Nick, he's got like hundreds of clients, you know, 100 people coming, like, you know, it's like bam, 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 bam. Then at the end of the day, when he goes to sleep, all those people and all those stories, do you know what I mean? So
that's where I would take a break for a while sometimes because, like I said, my coaching is based on ethics too. If I can't be 100%, I'm not going to take a client. Like if I've taken 3 or 4, the money's there, and I mean, you have no business coaching other people if your mind is not right. Like, I think in this line of work, it's good to have a second job. Like me, I have a day job because if I need to take a break from it, it's like otherwise, what am I doing? I have no business being a coach needing coaching at a certain time. Not saying I need coaching, but I need to regulate myself. I need to coach myself because, like you said, you take on all their stories. And if you're a coach that cares too, like myself, I'm going to be thinking about your story like, okay, as I'm going to bed before I even visualize what I want, I'm visualizing, oh, Sally wants this SP and David wants this SP and this guy is trying to make $1 million. So it's like I'm so thankful this guy has $1 million and David got his SP and oh yeah, and then he came on the live stream and told me about it and I'm doing all this stuff and then it's like oh I failed that person and then it's like and then I come back about the same. It's like okay, well, and then sometimes some of the situations I remember thinking, I'm like, thank God I never had that situation because if I had that situation, I probably would have handled it like this or that. And then the same situation that they had that I've never had an issue with will pop up in my life. So it's like, well, it makes you a better coach because now you got to deal with it. And I pray for that to be a better coach. But it's like, yeah, that stuff could pop up like that.
Yeah, yeah,
It
absolutely.
gets exhausting.
But I would always recommend, if Nick's coaching is very good. I've had it. It's set me on a path where, I mean, Nick, you and I are friends now. We talk, and
Yeah.
I'm part of the Mystic Global, if you want to call it,
Yeah.
the family,
Yeah.
and
Running
Inked
the
is
English chapter.
exactly. But and I said the same thing my business coaches said to me. My business coaches have business coaches.
Yes.
Where I if I needed time with Nick, you can vouch for this, Nick. I would just go, right, here you go, Nick, bam. And then if the time went over, I just went, bam, here's, cool. I just
Yeah.
have another half an hour, cool. I just put the money in
Yeah.
because it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
And that's what I
If
admired about
yeah,
you too. When I realized I'm like, this guy, this is your integrity because you have a very similar value system to me. Like when I went over time, I had the one coach, but I never went over the time with her. But like my friend, the medium, when she's like, oh, I'll just give this to you for free because I didn't feel like it was a good session. I'm like, that's my mentality. Keep the money. And then like, and how you would be like, I know because usually the sessions run over, but it's like your integrity of like it ran over and this guy's being nice and he doesn't care. He's still actually genuinely engaged. You send more. I'm like, wow, this guy is actually trying to look like we're not just here shooting the shit. Now we do because we're friends and like that, like we're calling to meet up. And it's like, if we're working on a project for the channel, it's something that you're equally interested in. Like you get a benefit from it because you like to be creative like that. And it's something cool to work on. And like, it's like doing a project with your friends. And but when it comes to coaching and stuff, it's like, yeah, if you need me, I'm there. And if I'm already vested into it and you're getting the value out of it, and it's like you giving that more money, it's like, hey, I want to stay on the call longer. Okay, here, let me buy another half hour. Then buy another, and then it's like at a certain point, I'm like, all right, yeah, stop. Like no more. Like we'll keep going, but like stop throwing all the money.
but you pay for it. You value it more as well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
value
you
the
value the
coaching.
things you pay for. I
You
noticed
know,
that when I started coaching and I had free clients in the beginning, they would be the most that I'm not saying that like maybe if some of the people are still around and I coach them for free, well, I mean, hopefully they're around just because they like me and the content. But if you didn't get your desire, it was because a lot of them were like, "This happened. I need you now." It's like, oh, bro, I'm working a day job doing this for free. Like, hold on. And like they were so insistent, impatient, and like at times just downright ignorant. And I'm like, and I still have problems taking money after that too. And it was like, but the people who were paying for the session, it's like you watch every person who's paid for it, whether they wound up with their specific person or their exact desire, they went completely over. Like the one guy was going for financial independence and a specific person. Within 2 months of working together, and then 2 months, like I said, let's just take a month off because you're getting too much in the state of needing a coach. And I was going for my competition. He comes back with, oh, the one thing I was working on fell through. And I was like, hey, it's all working out in your favor somehow. He goes, I already know that. I'm like, because you don't need me. It's all within you. Dude's financially independent. He received a $400,000 gift from a friend, like $400,000 is an insane amount of money. And I'm like, I've never even manifested that. I want you guys to do better than I've done. And like, so
the
like, that was crazy. And then
number
he
of
was back on the
times
way. What's that?
that's happened for other people where I've been like, have you ever, I was talking to a close family member and I said, they were like, yeah, we're all going to lose our jobs. And I was like, why don't you just assume that you haven't? You haven't lost your job. Nothing's happened. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I've seen this before. It's okay. Yeah. I'm like, right, okay. But why not on this occasion you just be like, no, it's fine. They want it, and then no one.
What do you
I
have to
didn't.
lose?
Sorry.
What do you have to lose by thinking that way?
Exactly, and it's crazy. And then like, a few weeks later, he then says to me, "Oh, they've extended our contract." And I went,
Yeah.
"Really? Did they really?" I was like, "Oh, right."
As if I didn't know.
You know, another friend of mine, her father had was diagnosed with cancer and the C word, and basically I said no, he's healed. He's in fact he never had it. And I said just,
yeah.
and then a few weeks went by, and then I ran into her a couple months. I ran into her a couple weeks ago after not seeing her for a couple months. I went, "What happened?" And she went, "He went and it's completely disappeared." And I went,
Yeah.
"Really?" I went, "Oh my, like, okay, what disappeared? What are you talking about? What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
And
What are
right
you
there,
talking
that's
about?"
a great manifesting coach, partner, and friend on your part, because you're able to do it where it's like, I'm detached, I care, but I'm detached enough where it's like not affecting me. And it's hard sometimes in your own reality manifesting for people like you had the close family member, but it's like, okay, you're walking in such faith, your faith's enough to cover them. Like me and my brother, when my mom was sick, and like the doctor pretty much said, prepare yourself for the worst. And me and my brother, through tears in our eyes, it's like we both don't cry. We don't want to cry in front of each other. It's like, remember when? I'm glad she's on vacation now. How do you justify she's not at the house? She's on vacation right now. And sure enough, she's never really traveled. After that situation too, she wound up traveling a lot. Like she was in New York and Vegas and Florida multiple times. And it's like, yeah, my mom had gone through that. And like now when she disappears, it's like, oh, she's literally on vacation. And like money opportunities have popped up where she's able to travel and do all that stuff. But it was just a way to justify where she's at. And it
Yep,
was like, and within the next day or two, the doctor's like, I have no clue how this infection that was going to kill her and was killing her disappeared. And then we were like, holy shit. And it's the same thing with my uncle that was like, they're like, hey, he's not going to be able to function. He's got to go to a home or whatever. And it was like, hey, you know what? I did one stats. I said, he is sitting in my aunt's backyard drinking when he's not supposed to be drinking. Even after all this, but I'm like, if he was healthy, his personality, what would he do? He'd be drinking again. And he's never toasted me before. But I picture he toasted me with the Corona just sitting there in the chair. Same drink, Corona, 6 months later in my aunt's backyard, toasting me. And I was like, it's one of those things where your heart drops. It's like, I knew this was coming, but it dropped. Like I saw, and all the beer bottles around his feet. And I was like, holy shit. So just like that detachment, like you're there, but it's not you, so it's not as much. That's why I think the specific person or the job or whatever that you're dealing with personally, it could feel harder because you're right there, but you need to step out of your own life for a second and be like, hey, I could do this. It's already done. It's not a big deal. Just like I manifested on their behalf, just like how I manifested body changes, how I manifested this and this, it's the same thing.
things have certainly happened in the past. Certainly in the past 2 or 3 years, that even I could never really fully explain the change in how one went to the other when you could have easily gone, well, that's not going to happen, you
Yeah.
know. And it's not a coincidence.
No.
It's
Yeah.
not, I
Once
mean,
it
it's
happens so
not.
many times, it's
It's
like,
just too much. No, it's after a
yeah.
while. Yeah, it's too many times something can be considered a coincidence before it's just insanity. it's
Yeah.
it's it's there's just more to it, and I think that's why we're here, or that's why you're here, Nick, and it's to kind of make sense of all of that. And you know, and as I say, we're coming up to Christmas. Just give yourselves a break, man. Give yourselves a
Yeah.
break.
And that's actually the video that's going to be posted over on the Muscular Mystic page if you want to see. It's a thing about giving a break because sometimes, I mean, you'll be forced into a thing where you need to give a break. Like I hadn't been sick in 6 years. Last time I was sick, I had bronchitis 6 years ago. Now, right now, I'm a little congested with like allergies and stuff. But and it's like a sore throat was beginning. But for when I got sick, I was like, well, thank God it's not a sore throat. You know why? Because I'm a big bitch when I get a sore throat. And then within a week later, after not being sick for 6 years, it's like I get one horrible stomach flu, and I go through that. And that was a thing where it forced me, hey, you have to be focused on just getting better. Everything else doesn't matter. Like, oh, I'm supposed to go live. I'm supposed to post this video. I had all these videos queued up to go. No, it's like at this point where it's like I go to Lily's house to go to just spend the weekend together, which I try to use Friday night into Sunday afternoon. It's just my time, like no phone, no nothing. Like even it's hard to get a hold of me on the weekend sometimes
Yeah.
because that's the time where I try to I try to detach from the phone. It's like just whatever me and her are doing. That's it. If we're going to use our phones, we record it. We use the Nick and Lily vlog, but we're not playing on social media. Nothing. And you check both of our social medias. it's like not active since Friday or whatever. So once we get together, but it's like I was thinking I got all these things to do, and it's like sleeping 3 hours a night, and then oh well, I need to have five. Well, I'll get a 2 hour nap in, and then everybody kept saying, oh, you're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna kill yourself. You can't be doing all that. You're gonna get sick. And like she said, your body broke down and got what it wanted, and it's like sometimes you got to give yourself that break. And I'm like, what lesson is there to be learned? How is this working out in my favor? As I'm like dying in bed, like belly all bloated up and like hurting, and she's like, you need to rest. You need to sleep. And I'm thinking, how's this work out in my favor? Oh, the only thing that's important right now is this present moment, feeling better right now. That's
Yeah.
and enjoying the moment. It's like, oh, we're just gonna lay in bed and watch movies. To me, I'm anxious. It's like I gotta make a video. I gotta do this. I gotta get to the gym. And it's like, no, slow down. Nothing is that important. It's like the moment in front of you is the most important. And that's kind of what reiterated it to me.
I think the only time I'm frantically trying to get hold of you is if I've like doing something like a video and I need you to like
Oh yeah,
I need you to like give the thumbs up on it. I need you to check it, or and I'm like, look, we've just come to like the like need to look at this because this is like we've just come to a eureka moment. Like
yes,
obviously we're working on. Most people don't know we're working on revamping the well, we're revamping, or you're revamping the brand as it is,
yeah.
and the kind of intro. We're just kind of working on that at the moment, and
And it was
so
just a
there's
crazy
going to be
thought
something
too.
big coming. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a crazy thought. Like, oh, hey, can you do this? I don't know. I've never done it. And it was like, it's a cool, exciting thing. We're on the phone for hours, like talking about how to do it. And then you're like, hey, I figured it out. It's like, holy shit, he figured it out. And it's like, and then I woke up in the middle of the night. And like, no, it's probably afternoon at that point, but it's like boom, 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 all these messages from you, and then it's like an email. I'm like, oh, he must have finished the project, and it's like trying to get a hold of you. And because if you don't know, like me and Gary, since international, I don't have what's the thing, the texting app that you guys use. All the international people tell me to get it.
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, yeah. So it's like, I'm like, we talk in Facebook Messenger, but then if you can't get a hold of me, he'll send it on
An email.
email. So it's like,
Yeah.
and then I'm like half asleep. I could not even open my eye. I'm like, oh, my stomach hurts. And then she's like, what are you doing on your phone? And I'm like, I'm just trying to. She goes, you need to rest. Like, I'm like, okay. And then like, I remember I was like, I had my face like this and my one eye open, and I'm watching the intro how you did it. I'm like, oh, that's badass. I'm like, look at baby. And then she's like, I thought you're not working. I'm like, I'm not. And then I'm like, and then I send you audio. I'm like talking to her
I'm not
laughing
allowed to
back. She's
work.
like on my back. Like, and I'm like, that's badass, and I will find a track in a little bit, and I'm gonna look for music while I'm laying here in bed. She's like, you're gonna do what? And my phone's on like 19% because I didn't even plug it in. And she's like, she's gonna do what? I'm like, oh, look for music, and then I'm like falling asleep again. And I was like, and then this whole week goes by, and it's like I haven't even looked at it yet. But the ones you already had, it's like we could just shop it like that for a while. Because on
But
Fiverr, I wasn't finding anything
it's
good.
also because we were like, I'm like, oh, we might have to template this and and like and just work it off of something that's already done. And then you were, and then I managed to figure it out, and then we did
Yeah,
it, and you were, and I was like, we didn't even need the template. We didn't even need to subscribe to anything. It's like,
yeah.
woo.
Yeah, it's like it was a way I was like you're like, oh well, we gotta subscribe to this. I'm like, okay, I'm already like putting it in my head. And I'm like, bet he figures it out. It was just a real quick thought too. Here's instant manifestation, real quick. I'm like, bet he figures it out. And then with that, and I'm like dying. Like I just, oh, he'll figure it out. And then I die, and then I wake up and I get revived. I'm like, oh, he did figure it out. That was
Yeah, no,
ultimate
it's good.
detachment.
It's good. Yeah, I'm. Hopefully, we can get the track to it, and then we can get it released and give Mystic Manifesting a whole boost into the future.
Yeah,
The universal style intro.
yeah, the mystic verse.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have
Marvel's
all
Mystic.
different variants.
Yeah. So it's all good things. I suppose there's any. Well, I don't know. If do you want to? Should we take? Do you want to take some questions?
Yeah, if you guys
Um,
want to take some questions, we went over the hour that we were going to do, but that's usually how we go. So if you guys got any questions, we'll take that before signing off, and then staying on track. It seems like this time works well on Mondays for people. Um, it's like really the only day I can work out with Lily is on a Monday, but she just does cardio on Mondays, and I do my cardio every day. Like I do 30 before, 30 after. If I'm not being a lazy fat fuck, I'll do my hour of cardio every day, and then my hour of lifting. So I don't really need the Mondays with her on that stuff. It's just nice here and there, but it seems like this time works well. And then if you guys want, get on the Discord. because that's always, it's like pretty much access to me all day because it's in my hand. My phone's right there. You ask a question, I got an answer. And it's a whole community full of people. And then we do the Mystic Roundtables there, which I'm going to try it tonight, but we're looking into finding a day that works perfect where we all sit down and like, okay, here, we're all sitting here and everyone's face is on the screen. Or if you don't want your face, there's a regular chat. So you could either be chatting in the chat box or have yourself on the thing. And I thought that format worked really well. It was almost like how me and Gary are here, but like everybody was very courteous and like taking turns, like, oh, I have something to say, I have something to say, and we went around like that. So if you guys want that, there's that option as well. But yeah, if you have questions, we're here, and I'm about to get hit with the 20% low battery. This thing was at 90 when I started.
Yeah, I plugged mine into a portable charger, so I'm still going.
Yeah, I need to get like a magnetic one to put like for when I do these with a stand, because I got this on the mic, but the mic is plugged in there. Oh, you're good, Ink. We're getting ready to wrap up, but if you guys got questions, let us know. Before I forget too, we're doing a challenge for Christmas. So look, you have 6 weeks now, and what do we say? We're no more than 2 weeks away from a miracle. Write out your mini manifestation list. No fucking around, no games, no. Oh, I thought about it. Write down a mini manifestation list. Believe it as you're writing it down. As you're writing it, take time to think about each thing you're writing down real quick. You're going to hit a vision or affirmation or whatever. And then if it comes up, maybe if you want to check it here and there. But at the end of 6 weeks on Christmas or around Christmas time, we'll do another live. And you guys come in and you tell us, boom, 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 the things that happen. Doesn't have to be a specific person, but you could throw them on there. Or it's like, oh, have contact. If you're no contact, or at least had contact. Something believable that can happen, not asking you to like recreate the wheel or break something. Like, obviously, we want you to get to your main desire, but you're going to build confidence in these 6 weeks. So that's what I want to do.
I don't know. Do you want to do? It's not. It's completely Nick's choice, but do you want to do a Christmas coaching special 1-to-1 like you did for Halloween?
I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did one on Halloween, right?
Yeah, it was for about 3 days. I don't know if anything came from that. If you got I think maybe
Christmas. Oh, you said a Christmas sale. Yeah,
Christmas,
yeah.
Christmas, like maybe something for Christmas.
Yeah. If you want to create the poster and stuff like that, we're okay. Yeah, even better. So all right, now this is my holiday give back. That's a good point, because I always look for ways to give back. You know, the coaching is $100 an hour. We'll drop it to 99 for the next 6 weeks too. So if you're having problems in this thing, and Gary will make the sale again. And I figure if I do that enough, like throughout keep discounting the coaching throughout things, maybe it makes it more affordable for people. I know the market's not that great right now, and there's a 20%. If you guys want, we'll do that. So message me after this. It's either through email, book on Calendly. Calendly is still going to say 150, but I'm not an asshole, and you don't pay me until we're about to start the session. So you'll have contact with me before then. So either email, Calendly booking, join the Discord, and we'll have our lives on there. So there'll be 6 Discord lives before. We'll have 6 more of these meetings. I'm going to be posting videos every week. Go to Muscular Mystic. So there's 2 channels now, and I'm going to share whatever Muscular Mystic videos are on this channel. So if you want, go subscribe over there. And that one's going to be a little bit more vlogging and my lifestyle and stuff like that. But yeah, so if you guys don't have any questions or nothing, we'll wait another couple minutes. But that was a good point to make too, because we did talk about that, but I just didn't think about it. I always forget. I'm horrible at promoting myself on all this stuff. I'll tell you more that you don't need any coach.
But I would definitely say people, get onto the premium Discord. It's not
that expensive. I tried to make it where it's just expensive enough to keep people who are not serious and trolls out of it, and just expensive enough or cheap enough where it's like it's not going to break your bank. Oh, let's hear the question. Man, I should have had another drink for this. You know what's a good cigar mix is what do you call it? Ginger ale. When I was sick, I was still me and you were meeting, and I was getting over being sick. I had this with ginger ale, and I'm like, oh, it's a unique flavor. Who put the bop in the bop show bop show bop? What the hell? I was like,
Isn't that Grease?
I thought that was a SpongeBob reference where it's like, no, man, I want the song that goes boop, beep, 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 bop. Oh, you mean bop, bop, boop, boop, beep? Like, no, not that one.
You're talking about Grease? Shubap diwa widwap. Wow.
Yeah, it's quiet
Everyone's
today.
got all the answers. Okay.
Yeah, 0 questions as always. There we go. Everything's good, and I have all the answers I need. There you go, John.
It's a
Well, with
Christmas
that, I guess
miracle.
if we got no questions, thank you, Gary. Love you, brother. Thank you for stopping by and helping drive this conversation. And this was Gary's idea too, the Christmas spirit. So give him the credit for that. I like this. I think also over the course of the week, since I won't be able to decorate with Lily till we were trying to do it together. Plus, I'm lazy and I don't. She'll be the one that motivates me to drag the tree all the way up from downstairs storage. Um, I'll wait till she's here. But I'm thinking to get a little tree, a little decorating in here. I got some shelves to put up there, put some things on there. So we'll decorate the office a little bit. The green screen never receives much use, so I might just scrap the green screen, paint it over black or something like that, and turn this. I'm gonna get rid of the cigar lounge membership because I don't go enough. Go with Gary's other idea, just turn this into the lounge, and it doesn't stink in here either. Crack the window and you spray Lysol, you're good.
Yeah, nice burgundy, jazzy color.
Mm-hmm.
Leather chair.
Yeah, we got the leather chair. I feel like
Leather
Emperor
chair.
Palpatine in this chair. Good,
And then
good.
nice mahogany. Live,
Yeah,
live as you mean. Live as you mean to go on.
yeah,
You know, and hopefully maybe we can do another proper, like, this is a Christmas one, but when everything's proper into December, maybe do another catch up with the challenge
yeah,
and everything.
yeah. I like that. We'll definitely get that done. I just like being here for fun, great life. See, that's what I want. I want people to be like, we got it figured out, good to go. Like, don't need it, but I like to be here, and that's why I kind of like why I'm bridging off with the muscular mystic. So it's like, okay, you want manifesting advice? You got this channel. If you want just me and life advice and bullshit and hanging out, like that will be the other one. I think we need more subscribers over there too to go live. Who will just be like me and Gary, like, oh, I went to Gary went to Hong Kong and got this type of cigar. I went to the corner and got this cigar. And go over like cigar reviews or whatever.
Yeah, I'm heading back to Hong Kong in a few days, so there's one cigar that I thought was really nice. I told you about this, like card box pressed, tastes like Brazilian nut. Like it's got like a nice feel to it. It's really nice. I'm gonna bring some back.
Yeah, I'll get a box press one too for the next thing because I think my cigar lounge credit still goes. I think they're gonna bill me for this month, so I'll have like $275 worth of credit with them. Collect that, and then they also said it's gonna get packed this fucking like December, January, February. I'm like, what's the point of the membership if it's packed as fuck there? Like I can't go live or nothing. So turn this into the studio.
Yeah, man.
I just kind of like the hanging out. There you go, perfect. And Just Joy, what's up? But with that, though, guys, thank you again to Gary, and we're going to be meeting more. Make your mini manifestation list today. Today, nothing else. Sit down, do that, and then feel it as you're writing it, and then don't look at it unless you really feel you need to, but you'll be surprised in 6 weeks when you look how many things. It could be the most crazy, ridiculous little things, but pick stuff that feels realistic, but stuff that you know it's like it feels realistic, and you'll think it would have happened anyway, as Neville says, but you'll see so many of them get done. It's like, holy shit, like it's a breakthrough. It's a confidence builder, just like Gary's flight plan training course. If you guys want that too, you could probably send me the link to it and I could put it in the bio on stuff. But if
And
you want
get
to do trading,
to get on the premium Discord, and also get some time with Nick, man. Get some time with Nick. Seriously, you got the special.
yeah,
It's gifted. It's gift wrap now. You got it.
and you get free Discord membership too for signing up too. I give you access to it as well once you get coaching. So with that, love you guys very much. You got this. You can't fuck this up. It's all working out in your favor. Thank you, Gary. Love you, brother, and
Love
we'll
you
talk
too,
soon.
man.
See ya.
Take care, guys.